Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great Thursday evening. I am going to just kind of say hi to the few people who have been here and waiting, and then I'm going to start talking about the disclaimers and kind of overview what I'm going to be discussing today, and then we're going to get right on into it. I will say this is likely to be a little bit longer stream, so I apologize for anyone who cares to know and is watching the replay or comes in late. I'm going to be covering quite a bit today. So I do want to go ahead and say hi to everyone who is in the chat. I appreciate everybody who's waiting. Anna, hello. Hey, Xylee. Doggy Cute, DJ Better, Ninja Girl, Kiki Ray, My Opinion, Not Yours, Claire, Without a Jelly Donut, Blue, Maria Rose, King Quinn. Seems like there's some conversating happening between you guys. Tamra, hello. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Dion. Hey, Sue. Hey, Heather. Feeling kind of breezy. April, Adrienne, Sweet and Sassy, and Susan. Those are all that I see so far and rarely care. Thank you all for being here. So a few disclaimers that I am going to have is one of them is going to be running across the screen. Do not provide hate. Do not be malicious to anyone. I'm going to be talking about a lot of creators, and I am not going to be bad-mouthing any of them. I'm not trying to be mean to any of them. I'm stating everything that has happened from my perspective and giving my opinion on the Without a Crystal Ball community as far as what's been going on with screenshots, what's been going on pretty much since December. That is what I'm going to be talking about today. I am somebody who I'm going to talk about it, my position in the community and where I had stepped away, what made me step away. I am going to be owning some of my own truths, and probably I'm going to be 100% transparent with you guys and even acknowledge where I probably, without really knowing at the time, participated in some of the division that has happened. And a lot of that, I think, was due to my silence. And in recent times, as things have continued to get worse and worse, I've tried to be pretty neutral and provide, hey, like, you know, the few videos that I have. So with everything kind of blowing up even further and things getting really serious and really scary, I kind of feel at this point I have nothing else to lose. I am likely to piss off probably everybody with what I'm going to say, my experience, how I observe and how I see things happening and give my impression. I'm not trying to insert myself in anything. I'm not trying to talk poorly about anyone. It is just from my perception, how I have observed everything, and where my opinions lie with everything going on. And that includes the Gnat stuff. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. Clearly a disclaimer, do not provide any hate. Do not be disrespectful in my chat. Usually I do not mind too much what people say, but because I am going to be talking about so many different creators, and I mean a large majority of creators and figures that have been on Twitter, that have been known to be a part of this community, I'm going to be talking about a lot of different people. And I understand some of these people have very different opinions about things. They have very different stances on things, and that's totally fine. But I'm hoping this can be somewhat of a neutral conversation and there can be no hate going on in the chat. So for my mods, I am going to slow down the chat just a little bit. And if you guys feel the need to mute anybody or anything like that, I trust your judgment. Let me go in here. I've never done the delayed conversation before, so it's giving me a little bit of an issue. It's not letting me down click. Of course, I would have tech issues today. Thank you guys for the compliments on my makeup. I appreciate that. Okay, let me see if it'll let me do it now. I know people change this during their streams. I don't know why it's not letting me do the drop down. No, Kiki, my mom is not here. She is back home. Okay, so unfortunately, mods, it's not allowing me to add any kind of delay. It's not letting me drop down and select a delay. It's there, but it's grayed out. So I don't know why I can't do it, but it's not letting me. So, okay. So first I'm going to talk about my introduction into the KD community, and then I'm going to kind of get into where I perceive, keep in mind, these are all my opinions and my observations. Please do not take what I say as fact. If you have a totally different opinion than me or you disagree with me on anything, please understand that's fine. I really can understand where a lot of different people are coming. I'm just talking from my perspective as my channel in all of this. I became a part, I don't know if I could really ever claim that I was actually a part of the community. I was somebody who would occasionally make videos calling without a crystal ball's behavior out. Did I make several videos? Yes. Did I talk to other creators in DMs who also made content on her? Yes, I did. I was never someone who followed her extremely closely. I was never someone who even followed the lawsuit. I did not follow the lawsuit, and that will come into play. I initially, as many of us, if you ever were a fan of Katie, I watched her content. I found her through the Micah Stauffer stuff, and I enjoyed what she was reporting at the time. So I was a subscriber of hers for a very brief period of time. I quickly learned that she could not really accept criticism. I was someone who got blocked on Twitter just for responding to someone else's comment about her that wasn't even that bad. So at that point, I kind of understood what people had been sending me. Yes, I did have, even though I was a very, very small creator at the time, I did have some people who were in the community see my video and reach out to me and say, hey, just be careful. She's known to be problematic. Did they go super specific? No, they didn't. They were just giving me a very kind warning, probably because they could tell I was a new channel. From there, the BX Beast Boy stuff happened, and I made a video about that, kind of changing my opinion a little bit about Without a Crystal Ball. Then things continued to escalate when the Michael Long stuff happened. And that was a definitive line. I had seen things start to escalate over time. And that's when I was like, nope, I'm done. Absolutely not. And that's when I started to give her a lot more criticism in my videos. From there, I got introduced to several other creators within the anti-KJ space. I was introduced to Charlotte. I was introduced to Little Red and Dottie. Shortly after that, I was on Twitter, so I became introduced to people who are known on Twitter like Haiti Joyless, Shins, Rakin, all of them. That's kind of, and did I talk to absolutely everybody? No, I did not. And then the lawsuit happened. And I said from the beginning, I really wasn't going to follow the lawsuit because, one, I really had no interest in it. Two, there were plenty of other channels like Charlotte who were willing and wanting to discuss all of those aspects and really dig into it. I didn't see the need for me. Plus, there was Emily D. Baker who was talking about it from an attorney's perspective. So I didn't see the need for me to try and decipher these these court documents. So I didn't even follow the court case. Okay. So come December, this is where the very first divide, in my opinion, of this anti-KJ community happened. That was when two people who held a panel were friends and had a falling out. That would be Little Red and Dottie. And it was a very public, people did kind of pick sides, but I don't think it was as harsh as time went on. People felt that they had to pick sides. And I was rather neutral during that situation. I know some people probably feel that I leaned more one way than the other when it came to Little Red and Dottie, and I am not trying to cause any issues here. But what I had seen going on Little Red's channel was kind of concerning to me. You have to keep in mind, if you're new to my channel or this is the first time watching me, I have open discussions where we talk about sensitive things and we talk about real issues that people can have. And I always try to be some kind of advocate on my channel when I'm discussing things like that. So when it comes to concerning behavior that I perceive to be concerning, I'm not going to jump on camera because I perceive something that is slightly problematic and damn another creator for it, because it's my perception and I'm not going to create a drama over something that I can easily back away from. And that's kind of what I did during that time. And I'm pretty sure Little Red has owned up to not being in a good place during that, correct? I'm going to drink some water because my mouth is really dry. So from there, I stopped really being in Little Red's chat and things like that for that reason. Not because I didn't like Little Red, not because I had any issues with Little Red, not because I was picking Dottie over Little Red. It was because the behavior that I had seen was extremely concerning and I didn't want to be associated with it. Point blank, period. It is what it is. I understand now that she has at some point been doing better. But that's why I stopped engaging in her chats. Okay. Then come January. We all know what happened in January. And this is where people are going to get mad at me. In January, the declaration from Natalie came out. I didn't follow the lawsuit, guys. I didn't know who Natalie was. I didn't know her declaration. To this day, I still haven't read the declaration because I probably should at this point, to be honest, but I haven't. And and this is where I'm going to own part of probably my participation in some of the things that had transpired. And that was Charlotte and I had become, I wouldn't say we were friends or anything, but we did talk pretty often. And I don't remember if it was before or after the live stream. I think it was just before, maybe even the day of, I don't know. And I'm not going to show any receipts here. There's really no need, in my opinion. But she was telling me that she had this really strong opinion that people probably wouldn't agree with. And I have always been, if you have something to say, if you have an experience, if you don't want to be silenced, it's up to you if you remain silent or not. You make the choice whether you're going to talk about it or not. So to some degree, did I encourage Charlotte to say whatever she felt she wanted to say without even knowing what it was? Initially, later on, she did tell me, and I didn't know anything about Gnat, okay? So she did the stream, and I believe the first stream that she did is still privated, and that's her right. That's her prerogative. What made me pull from being in Charlotte's chat was I was unaware of the alleged underlying diagnoses that Gnat had. Okay. And then if you take that again with how I advocate and what I say on my channel, it really did not fit well with me on how the live stream went. In hindsight, looking back and hearing her talk about it in recent days, it does seem that she didn't have the intention to target Natalie. It seems that she really was trying to maybe question her declaration and her being behind some of the death threats and the hacking. The way that I took that live stream that I don't believe is public, she was more accusatory from what I remember. And that's why I stopped being in Charlotte's chat. Again, not because I don't like Charlotte, not because I think she did something wrong. It was just something that I didn't feel that for my channel would look good to align with at the time. And I wasn't talking about any of this because, again, it's all perception. I didn't think anything that any of these creators up to this point did was abhorrent. I didn't think that they needed to be called out or needed to be castrated or anything like that. Unfortunately, what did happen is Charlotte got doxxed. And I've not really ever talked about it publicly. And I don't support anybody who's going to dox somebody. It's just, for what reason? I just made a video about privacy the other day. And there's no good reason in 99% of the cases to dox someone. It's always coming from some kind of vengeful or malicious place. So I didn't approve of that, but I didn't speak out against it either. And I think people just assumed because I wasn't talking about it, they just assumed maybe what I felt, which again could be on me because I didn't insert myself, but I really try to not insert myself into drama because it's something that I just don't handle well. If I'm a part of drama, I'm going to put my foot down and I'm just going to say, this is where I stand on it, like it or not. Like, it is what it is, kind of like what I'm doing with this video, right? Or this live stream with you guys, right? So that was where the major division in this anti-KJ, whatever you want to call us, anti-KJ, KJ truthers, that's where the big split happened, where people felt if you didn't support one person, you had to support these other people. I think some of it happened unintentionally, but what continued to happen from that time, and I understand people's feelings were hurt, and you're going to be reactionary, especially when you do live streams, and people may bring something up and you're not totally processed with it. You may respond in a way that you maybe didn't want to, or that you didn't even want to respond to that at all, but you got put on the spot because you read a comment, and you subtly start throwing shade back and forth to one another. That was going on every aspect. Everyone that I have mentioned so far was kind of throwing shade to each other. And I know that, and I've already addressed this, and I've already reached out to creators involved, that I know some of my videos were perceived as me trying to throw shade at someone. As you can see from this live stream, I'm not afraid to talk about where I stand with people. But if you don't see the reason I pulled from Charlotte and Little Red, they were for how it would be perceived. It wasn't anything personal. Maybe I should have been a better person and reached out to them. I did try to reach out to Charlotte, but she had deactivated her Twitter, and I didn't go to the links to find her. Could I maybe take accountability on that? Yeah. I didn't think it was that serious, though, because everything was a shit show, and I didn't want to get involved with it. So I understand how that division happened. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that at the time people couldn't put their differences aside to maybe try and at least understand where people were coming from. But a lot of subscribers got involved and creators got involved, and behind the scenes stuff were happening. People were DMing each other. I mean, it's a tale as old as time when it comes to drama. From there, the shade continued to be thrown and people got frustrated. People made live streams. People got to the point where they felt they absolutely had to address things, which is understandable. And I'm of the firm believer that if you have an experience with someone and you want to talk about it, you want to clear the air, it's everyone's right to address whatever they want to as a creator. The hypocrisy that has been going on is what's more frustrating to me as somebody who's been viewing this from the backside is what's really the most frustrating, because everybody is holding each other to a different standard and not seeing the hypocrisy within themselves. And if people want to even say that about me, I'm fine with that. I'm not perfect, and I'm sure I've been hypocritical. But for it to continue for 6 months now, people get ground down, right? So in recent times, if you're a part of this community, you would know that shit has gone off the walls here lately. We have had even further division from other dramas. And I think they spin from the initial division. We have the initial division, then you introduce Real Entertainment News, then Aaron from EKC People Suck gets involved, and the division just continues. Then Words Have Power get involved. I mean, it just spread like wildfire, where everybody was wanting to be right. Everybody was at each other's throats. And to be honest, everybody has participated in it, all while saying, I want it to stop. I just want everybody to get along. But every single person who has said that is contradicting themselves in the actual stream that they're talking about, perpetuating it to continue. So the division and the arguing just continues and continues and continues. And then we have all Things Sassy. I'm going to be 100% honest. I only watched like 1 or 2 of their videos. I liked them. I'm not somebody who just binge watches YouTube all the time. I watch what I'm going to be intending on covering. And I had pulled from the KD community. I know in like March or April, I can't even remember what month, I did kind of make a couple of videos about KD that affected me personally that I saw happen. But aside from those, I hadn't been watching her content, and I still haven't been watching her content or anything that she's involved in. Do I see what KD does? Absolutely, because I follow a ton of people on Twitter. That is where most of my following came from. It's not lost on me where most of my subscribers came from. So I understand I'm going to see her stuff. Usually I just scroll right by it. And I'll be 100% transparent. I have multiple accounts muted because I don't want to see nothing but KD on my Twitter feed. So, oh my gosh, this is just so lengthy. So we have all of these random dramas going on. A lot of it is people's feelings are hurt. And in some situations, actually in all of the situations, everybody is valid. Stop trying to invalidate another creator's opinion or experience with you. Also, stop going and looking for them to be talking about you. Stop monitoring each other. What kind of world are we in this community that we just want to monitor everybody to see if I'm mentioned or to see if I'm shaded? You are looking for a reason to be defensive. You are looking for a reason to have to respond. Why? Why put yourself through that? It makes zero sense. And I'm not going to sit here and say I've never Googled my name or YouTubed my name to see what videos popped up, because I absolutely have. And I will tell you, at times, some of those videos actually have given me good criticism. Some of you guys have given me good criticism. Some other creators that I have talked to, whether currently or in the past, have given me good criticism. I'm open to that. But when I watch a video that maybe is extremely in a negative light of myself, I don't watch it. Have I before? Yeah. And it was really hard to deal with. Why people are putting themselves through that intentionally is not healthy. And it's not worth it, because you are further dividing with every shade you throw. You are further dividing while you are singing, you want this all to stop. And that's to everyone involved in the drama, whether it be in this community or another community. That's just what it is, and from my perception. So we get to all things sassy. Okay. Like I said, I didn't watch all of her videos. I liked what I saw, though. And I did follow her on Twitter. And I had never talked to her until recently. I had never talked to her. All of a sudden, I see Twitter going freaking haywire that All Things Sassy was a mole because she contacted Katie, or she gave stuff to Katie. I mean, the conspiracy theories were just off the wall, left and right. I mean, we're all entitled to have conspiracy theories. It gets scary and dangerous when conspiracy theories are being talked about as if that's what's actually happening, pushing a narrative, further harming whatever. And that's kind of what was happening with All Things Sassy. And she totally deleted everything. She totally wiped everything. And I don't remember if it was today or yesterday or last night. She put up a community post. She has a totally different channel name now. I can't remember it because I'm awful. But she put up a pretty lengthy, very, very lengthy, pretty detailed community post explaining where she went and why and what she did. That wasn't enough. People still wanted to call her a mole. People still wanted to assume or allege that she may be even Katie, to the point that she felt it was necessary for her to make a quick Twitter video of her voice so people knew. Do you guys not see how absolutely ridiculous that is? That is so mind-boggling to me that someone felt that, yes, headlines rust. Thank you, Pearl Girl. It's ridiculous to me that somebody felt that way. So she has come back. And I feel so bad for her that she got to the position that she did. I genuinely think she was being used. That's really where I stand. I think she was being used. And that's going to kind of open up another person that I thought was used, who I'm sure is probably going to have their feelings hurt by me saying this. But I think Dottie Morgan has been used. I think people have taken advantage of her, and I think she does have a good heart. And I think she's found herself in a situation that she genuinely does believe. But after seeing everything I have for the past 2 days, I think she's been used. And I'm going to clarify my opinions about Gnat here in just a little bit and everything coming out about that. And it sucks because she's catching a lot of heat. What I have said about other channels, and I'm going to reflect it here. It is never a good idea to make a video or go live when your emotions are high. And the last couple of days, there have been a couple of live streams, and if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about, where there have been some very concerning behaviors. And that is for that person to deal with. And it's okay for people to have concerns. What I don't find okay is people damning everybody else who says that they have a concern. If you saw Dottie's live and you saw how she was talking about the live streams Red did, I don't think that was a good look on how she decided to address it. I think a lot of people who did see that are concerned. And I'm sure it was embarrassing for Red. And if she is struggling with something, she has an amazing community. And I have talked to Little Red not since all of this happened, but before. And I would hope that if anybody ever needs anything, I always offer. I'm here to help. I'm not going to insert myself in everyone else's issues, though. If someone wants help, they'll get help. And we don't know, and making assumptions, I think, can further cause issues. A lot of what was said in the recent live stream, I genuinely believe was just her being reactionary. And I think it's because feelings have been hurt. People are defensive. Is that an excuse? No, we are grown adults. And out of respect for both of them, they have privated those live streams, which I think were good ideas for them. The unfortunate thing is people were there, people saw it. You kind of are going to have to take accountability. That goes to both. You are kind of going to have to take accountability and move on. So that is my piece on that part. And this does go into the Gnat stuff. Again, I am not sharing any receipts. I have personally spoken to Gnat. And the context really doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with anybody else's channel or anything like that. It was something that she wanted to do with my channel because I am an advocacy channel. She wanted to maybe at some point come on and talk about her disorder. And I was open to that. I knew I would get backlash, but I'm open to being educational on my channel. I'm open to having people discuss their hardships and how they have worked through them. If that gets me heat, oh well, I'm just being transparent with you guys. I have never received a death threat to myself. So people who continue to say that everybody who gets involved gets a death threat, maybe I'm an outlier, and maybe I am talking ahead of myself here. I haven't gotten any. So some people, I understand where their screenshots come from, that point that Gnat has been inconsistent. I agree. I have seen some of the screenshots that have been shown, and some of them have clearly been altered. Could Gnat possibly be behind some of the threatening emails? I'm not comfortable saying yes or no on that because I could see that being a thing. Do I think that Gnat is the hacker? No, I don't. And I know that that's not a popular opinion. It's kind of like one of those situations where people are pretty strongly feeling one way or another. I personally believe that if Gnat has all of the conditions that she does, which I'm entitled to believe her, I understand people who want to speculate that. I can understand because there's so much circumstantial evidence showing that there's concern there. I totally get it. I do. Personally, if she has all of these things going on, I think, and from some of the DMs I have gotten randomly since I put my tweet up in the middle of the night last night, I personally am inclined to believe that she is also being used. I kind of think she's being slightly manipulated. Am I saying that she is excused of the altered screenshots and things like that? No. I'm not going to say that because nobody knows. And I'm not going to try and play armchair detective and point the finger to anyone because allegedly authorities are involved. And I understand there's a lot of speculation about authorities being involved in the FBI being notified. If that's what you want to believe, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you for it. But I personally believe the FBI has been notified. There's been way too many people who have been involved with this stuff. We have Katie who is saying that she sent things to the FBI. We have Preacher Boys, who's like a total third neutral party, who has been said that they sent stuff to the FBI. So I genuinely think the FBI is involved. And I'm going to, another unpopular opinion is I am going to lean towards believing Saltz when he says that Gnat has been cleared of being the hacker. Does that mean that she's not faking screenshots, that she's not maybe sent a couple of threatening emails to somebody? I'm not comfortable saying that based off of everything I've seen. I'm not comfortable saying that, but does that mean that Gnat needs to be crucified? No. Just like you guys, some people who were strongly supporting Charlotte when she made her first live, you guys don't think she should have been crucified either. I mean, that's the hypocrisy thing that happens in this community where it seems very black and white. And there's nothing that inherently wrong with that. Please don't take it that way. But it seems that as all of this stuff continues to evolve, people feel that they have to stick to one way or stick to whatever decision they made initially and ride all the way home with it. And the reality is, situations change, your opinion can change. And if you're going to be judged for questioning something or changing your opinion on something, whoever's questioning you, I would question them. Like, why? Why is that a thing? You know? So I hope I've made sense. I have totally ignored the chat. So I am going to start addressing you guys in the chat. And if you have any questions, leave them. I know I didn't cover absolutely everything. I just really wanted to say, with the dramas and the infighting, everybody has participated. I'm not trying to be judge and jury and say that everybody should own up to their part. But I honestly feel that unless people own up to their participation and genuinely want to move on, this community is going to remain a dumpster fire. And that's unfortunate because I did really enjoy this community, but I've distanced myself and really not been a huge part of it because of all of this. I'm not trying to be mean here, and this is not directed at any one person. This is directed at the entire community, and I know people aren't going to like that I'm saying this. We look laughable to other content communities because of how ridiculous things have gotten. And yes, at times, some of these fights, I don't want to invalidate some of the fights that have happened and some of the videos that have been made, because some genuinely do need to be said. Overall, I don't think anybody in this community is a bad person. I really don't think anybody is trying to intentionally hurt one another, but I do think people's feelings are hurt, and I do think that if anyone who says that they want the community to move on, that you will let it move on and stop holding on to everything, stop looking for things. And as far as the Gnat stuff and the FBI stuff goes, I know it's taking a long time. but we need to let the authorities run their course. We need to sit back and stop trying to insert ourselves into the investigations. And I really think finger pointing right now doesn't help anything. And I mean that with the most sincere part of me. I am someone who wishes that everybody could go back to how it was in November. The reality is, and what everybody needs to understand is, that's absolutely not going to happen. But can there be condolences, like truces made to where it's like, let's just stop. Let's just stop engaging with one another. Let's stop. I don't know if anybody's necessarily looking to start a drama in this community, but it happens in other communities. So I can't help but question, do some creators go looking for things so that they have something that they can talk about so that the drama can continue, if that makes any sense? Do you think a community built around hating one person is why it's gotten nasty within it? People from that community get so defensive and nasty when anything is pointed out. I do, honestly, like if you look at it, the community was built kind of off of toxicity, even though, and I've been a proponent of that, even though the intentions were good, all of your chats, all of your conversations are about talking about how, thank you, Layla, are talking about how wrong someone else is or how problematic their behavior is. You're constantly talking about bad things. So I don't think it became bad because of that. I just think when you're constantly talking about bad things, you're kind of going to feel bad when you enter the community to a degree. And I think people are just really defensive because at one point, this whole community was extremely close. And so and there were literal friendships, and I think some still even exist, where there are actual friendships. People talk to each other daily and they build a rapport. They build an actual friendship. So when things fall apart, your feelings are hurt. So anything that you could perceive as being said about you or assume that is being said about you is going to only hurt you more. And at some point when you're emotional or you read a comment that really kind of triggers it, you're likely to shade somebody or say something off the wall. And then they feel their feelings hurt and they feel that they have to respond. I mean, it's the never-ending cycle, to be honest. I didn't mean everyone was toxic. I just am explaining, because I have seen that comment a lot, that because this community started off of really disliking one creator, that it's bound to implode. And to some degree, I can understand that. There's next level of things going on, which is I decided to stay out of it all. And I mean, I can respect that. I really did remove myself and try to remain neutral and not get involved. And could this live stream be labeled as me inserting myself and getting involved? It could. I hope that's not what happens. Just due to everything, you're right, it probably is just going to continue. And I understand that people may have their feelings hurt based off of things that I have said today or how I have experienced things. Videos may be made, shade may be thrown at me. I had that conversation with myself before I scheduled this, before I even tweeted last night. I have that conversation with myself before I make any video. That's a boundary that I have, that how am I going to deal with people disagreeing? How am I okay with all of the potential criticism and negative comments that I may get? People may be targeting me. Am I going to be okay with it? And in this instance, this has gotten so bad and people are wanting to talk about things finally, and things are getting to a point where someone has to be willing to sit down. And I understand several creators who have remained pretty neutral have talked about it. And I respect everybody. I respect everybody who has talked about it. I understand where everyone is coming from to some degree. Even though I don't necessarily agree with all of their points and their opinions, I can understand how they're coming to that. And it just makes me think, why is it like this? Like, is it really just a defense thing that people don't want to, think of things from a different perspective, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It just makes me wonder. Yeah, this wasn't intended to be mean to anybody, and I hope nobody takes it as I'm being mean. Are creators allowed to block other creators that won't stop being impossible to deal with? So on your YouTube channel, you can block anybody, it doesn't prevent them from being able to view your content. It prevents them from being able to engage as far as like commenting or anything like that. And you can even block people, like if somebody you see in a chat you really disagree with, you can actually block other people in the chat, like just other random people, so you don't see their comments. You feel like it's gone off the rails. Feelings are hurt. Apologies are needed, and the shade needs to stop being thrown and stop counting super chat seriously. I know that this has been going around, that people are counting Charlotte's super chats. Is that really a thing? Like, has someone literally counted her, like, to the dollar amount? I don't know. Like, that, it just seems a little bit off to me. I will admit, at times, full transparency, I wish I got the super chat Charlotte did, but I am sure as heck not going to judge her for getting the super chats. I think that's where some people come from. I think some people, I don't know if everybody's maybe hoping that they would get those kind of super chats, if it's that kind of situation, or if it's just that they see that and they want it, maybe. Like, and I don't want to call anybody jealous, because I don't like labeling people like that, but she gets a lot of super chats, and I mean, that's, her audience supports her. Is it something to criticize? Yeah, if you're trying to be super nitpicky, which in all of this infighting, people have gotten very nitpicky. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Is it crappy? Yeah. I understand her making a joke out of the sad fishing thing. Hey, thank you, Cheryl P, for the super sticker. That's super sweet of you. Like, I reached out to Charlotte, and I told her my video wasn't about you, and I understand if it was perceived that way, but I'm happy for you and your community that you've made a joke out of it. You feel most people were questioning whether Charlotte was doing streams for sympathy all the time. I don't necessarily feel all the time. There has been one or two streams, and it has nothing to do with LRC. I don't think that was a sympathy stream. There has been one or two of her streams that it was perceived to me that maybe it was her being upset and sad. And people were super chatting her anyways. She always gets super chats. So I don't know if she was fishing for sympathy to get more, then yeah, I would say that was sad fishing. But the reality when it comes to Charlotte is she gets super chats no matter what. So if you want to label every stream of hers a sad fishing stream, that's not a good look. Yeah, it's not your business where grown adults want to give their money. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. You don't know much about the anti-KJ infighting, but it sounds unnecessary. A lot of it is unnecessary. And again, it just boils, from what I see, it boils back to people's emotions being involved and people kind of going the extra mile to see what's being said about them. Can everyone remember that everyone involved are human beings? It's drama, really. Yeah, I know I'm like not 100% paying attention to the chat, but I hope nobody is being hateful to anyone because it's not warranted. People can have their opinions. The problem lies when this is a huge hypocrisy that happens is one creator, doesn't matter who in this community, one creator can say one thing and then a creator they don't like or disagrees with how they operate their channel says the same thing from their own perception. And this creator's held to a great high standard and this creator ends up getting shat on for saying the same thing. Thank you, Susan. One of the things that I have seen a lot of is multiple creators, I think almost all of them at this point, myself included at times, have said that we've lost subscribers. We all have lost subscribers. There's a multitude of reasons why we have lost subscribers. People don't want to deal with the BS one. People are tired of Katie at this point and Katie content because the lawsuit's over and people have figured out her pattern at this point and just don't want to talk about her anymore or hear about her constantly. And some people just decide that they don't like you anymore or they don't enjoy your message anymore and they move on. It's part of being a creator to lose subscribers, to lose memberships. I understand it probably hurts. It's not fun to see your numbers go down, but it's part of being a creator. Hey, Kimberly, thank you for your fishy. You'll mute yourself. You don't have to. I appreciate that. You're way too tired to follow the drama back and forth. And, you know, the thing is I think that, and I may be speaking out of my ass here because I'm not a subscriber, but I think from what I have seen watching a lot of live streams back to kind of see where I really sit on everything, it seems that subscribers kind of don't want this to be happening. Do some have their favorite creator that they're going to defend? Yes. Do I think some subscribers have taken it over the top? Yeah, on every single side. Every single side. You can't say I got targeted because I talked out about Charlotte and then not believe Charlotte when she says when she has maybe mentioned you or slightly shaded you that she didn't get hate too. It's not fair to put that on one another, to say one's valid and one's not. Because when you have people who really like you and you're going to be upset that another creator or whoever is affecting you and you're making it seem like you're not going to defend yourself, you are implying for your audience to defend you for them. And I've heard everybody say, don't defend me. Don't do this. Don't do that. The thing is, people have a mind of their own. People can make up their own decision. If they really like you and they want to defend you, they are going to anyways. Hopefully, in certain situations, the creator is talking to ones that maybe have been a little bit headstrong and have been very public about being mean on both sides and have said, hey, like, please don't do this. It doesn't look good on me. Why are you doing it? And if that person continues to do it, well, the creator has done what they can. You know? And it's like they'll hold themselves to that, but when the person that they're not getting along with tries to say a similar thing, it's like, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's the hypocrisy that happens here. And I think it's because of emotions. I think it's because people's feelings are genuinely hurt. And I can understand why people's emotions are genuinely hurt. If you don't like someone, don't watch them. If people think Charlotte is sad fishing or anyone else is, don't watch it. It's really simple. I agree. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people going and looking to see who is saying what or whose chat is saying what, which is a whole nother aspect, is I am really sick and tired of creators pinpointing stuff on subscribers. Now, if a subscriber is going to regularly hop on a panel, although they're not the creator, but they're doing it pretty frequently, you kind of become a part of that channel and are opening yourself up when you're choosing to go live on somebody's panel. You're making yourself available for people to criticize and judge what you say. What I don't like is when creators are nitpicking and putting things on subscribers because they're reading into everybody else's chat. Creators can only do so much. Yes, there is some level of, I don't know, maintaining and judging, but I can see my mod saying people be respectful, and I haven't seen anybody be mean in my chat because I'm not really watching my chat. I'm relying on my mods. So if somebody's being disgusting to another creator in my chat or even myself, I don't know because I'm not watching it. And some creators are better at multitasking and being able to speak and read their chat at the same time. I personally can't do that. I have to do one or the other. You can understand some really involved subs caring too much. Like some have said, they've been attacked just for where they show support. Yeah, I know that's happened. I've had people reach out to me and tell me that's happened for them supporting me. And I mean, that stinks. Why is anybody okay with that? And I don't think creators are encouraging. I genuinely, and I know this isn't a positive or a popular opinion, I genuinely don't believe creators are saying, oh yeah, go do that. I don't think they're co-signing people to go and be nasty to anyone else. I think people are taking it upon their own will to say what they want to say because they're mad. Some people in chat need to take a breather. I mean, mods, if people are being outwardly rude, I don't care to who, just start muting people. That's fine. You just think it's low when creators go after subscribers unless the sub themselves invite them to the conversation. I agree. And Xylee had a stream earlier today where she was reviewing another creator stream about a drama that had happened. And this creator had said in her video, your subscribers make you. And I know she's not the only one who has said that, but it is so true. Your subscribers make or break you as a channel. If you don't show a level of appreciation, understanding, and respect to your subscribers, you are likely to lose subscribers, maybe even lose them all. You know, I mean, that's a risk you take. And if you're going to be constantly engaging in behavior that maybe your subscribers don't like, or whatever the situation may be, I mean, whatever your subscribers are is what builds your channel and what builds your community that you are trying to build. Because every creator is building their own sense of community. You've left channels and never gone back because of subscribers' behaviors. I can understand that sometimes some subscribers can make it harder for other subscribers, but that's when I feel like, because I'm a subscriber as well, that's when I feel like subscribers need to mute the other person. If it's a live chat issue, you need to block to where you don't see their messages so you're not affected, so it doesn't ruin your relationship with that creator. Because creators can only do so much. They really can. Yeah, YouTubers are subscribers. It goes both ways. We kind of experience it both from the subscriber standpoint and from the viewer standpoint. Hey, Cat Mom, how are you? Yeah, Xylee has some really awesome streams, especially here lately. She's been covering some really hot topics. Okay, does anybody have any questions, or did I not clarify my opinions about something, or do you want to address me directly? If you want to address me directly, I'll try to look for questions, but if you want me to specifically see something, just at my name and I'll see it. I'll see it better. You get the reactionary lives, but is it the core content they want to make? I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. Yeah, it is Prime Week at Amazon, isn't it? A lot of creators fighting with each other, share subs, so it's hard to enjoy a stream when another creator you like is getting trashed. Yeah. And I mean, there have been creators that I enjoy almost everybody. Actually, anybody I've mentioned, I enjoy watching to a degree. Clearly, when it's constant KJ stuff, I tend to not watch it anymore. But if it's other stuff and other stuff going on in the community, I do watch it. And I know I personally don't feel comfortable talking in anyone's chat anymore. And part of that is because I don't know how people will feel that I'm there, and I don't want to make people uncomfortable, even though I personally don't have any issues with anyone. Does somebody maybe have an issue with me? Maybe. I don't know. No one's brought any issues to me, so if they do, I don't know about them. And that's fine. People don't have to bring every issue to the forefront. But I can understand watching a live stream and seeing somebody that you thoroughly enjoy and you enjoy that creator, but they're kind of talking poorly, or as you said, trashing someone that you like. It makes it hard to stay, and it makes you question if you want to be subscribed to that creator. I don't know what my hair color is. I got it from Sally's. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Chats in the live cause a lot of drama. There was a ton of shit talking and it kept going from channel to channel. Yeah, and I mean, I understand that. But like I said, to some degree, creators need to not nitpick what other people say in people's chats. Subscribers are subscribers, and if the creator says something and you want to address it, fine. But please understand that you are opening the door for them to respond. Just like me, I know me talking about everything that I have today, even though they've been my experience, my observations, things like that. Anybody can respond to me and say that, oh, she's terrible, she's a bitch, I don't agree with her. I know that. I'm cool with that. And if you are a creator who is not cool with that happening and you're in the commentary space, you may, and I mean this genuinely, you may want to question what kind of content you're making, because at some point you're likely to piss someone off. Not everybody's going to like you, including other creators. That's funny, JC. My husband said the same thing, that my hair looks like it's he called me Ariel. It does not really show the color it is, and I'm way too embarrassed to get too close to the camera. Oh my gosh. Carissa, thank you so much. I hope I pronounced your name right. You really didn't have to do that. I genuinely appreciate it. But my hair is a mess. It's like 50 different shades. It was something fun my mom and I did. I'll probably dye it a darker purple though, because the color has already started to really fade. I don't care that it's different shades. I'm not vain like that. I really don't care about my hair that much. If the anti-KJ, oh no, the chat just jumped and I don't know where that question was. If the anti-KJ community all got along, would there be any content? I think it's important to have fun spaces where she isn't even mentioned. I'm sure there would still be content, because despite the infighting and like the addressing each other, everybody has pretty good content. I think everybody's content's great. I don't know where the favoritism. Oh my gosh, favoritism. I don't know where people are favoring someone else. So I'm sorry you feel that way, April. Thank you so much, Stina Marie. I'm just trying to look for questions. You think some creators screenshot other creators' chats and start a war because of it? I mean, that's clearly happened. There's no denying that. You try to stay out of the drama and keep the peace, or at least keep it funny. You tend to keep it extremely funny, Kimberly. Can we all just agree to stick to facts and you have concrete evidence of hacking? Deal directly with the dang FBI. I can understand where you're coming from, Bob and Carrie, and I can agree with that. I miss Illuminacy's parodies too, Julie. My chat just jumped again. I'm sorry if there's questions. I'm trying to skim for questions, and I see a lot of deleting happening. I'm way behind in the chat. It looks magenta, so I'm pretty sure the box color was fuchsia. It was supposed to be like a purple. The problem was we bleached my hair twice, and I've never bleached my hair, and it took really well in some places, and in other places it didn't. In some places it hardly took at all, and I think that's just because my mom's not a professional hairstylist. It was more just to have a girl moment, because I don't care, and I wanted to do something really wacky with my hair. It was fuchsia. I don't remember the brand though. As a lurker, you can say that you're put off by echo chambers. You prefer open disclosure in the chat. It's just hard to find. I think it is hard to find. I think creators don't, not all creators, but, and I mean that in like a wide sense, not just what we're talking about tonight, I think most creators don't want to have an echo chamber, but people get scared to mention their opposing opinion because of large chats. If you have a large chat and they're clearly constantly just in agreement, and it could just be because they genuinely agree, it makes it hard for someone with an opposing opinion to talk. Do you think other creators should maybe not do streams? No, I'm never going to say someone shouldn't do a stream or shouldn't voice their experience or say what they're feeling. Nobody really has the place to say that, in my opinion. Yeah, please at me if you're trying to get to ask a question. Would you please define doxing? I think it's a big issue that not everyone is on the same page with. I don't know how many creators have to pull up the definition of doxing, but when you pull up the definition, it is search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. So if let's say for a creator, as for instance, if the creator has never published it publicly or shared it publicly, and someone goes and finds it and does share it publicly, that's a dox. And it says private or identifying information. So I know there's been a few people, and I never talked about the dox that Raken did. I'm going to talk about it here so everybody is clear. What Raken did was a dox because she published private information that Charlotte had not disclosed. Try Ion, Radiant Orchard, Semi Demi. I'll have to look into that, Kimberly. I may just leave it for what it's at for right now and do it in a month when I'm on vacation. Hey, Carly, good to see you. So how else can we as subs maybe help the community recover from this stuff aside from the obvious things? Don't be a jerk. I mean, go where you please. Say what you please. I mean, I really, as subscribers, I think too much has been kind of placed on subscribers at times and have almost pitted subscribers in the middle of everything. I maybe should have asked, is it okay to do a stream and use allegations of another creator's substance abuse without firsthand knowledge? Thank you for disclosing that was a dox. I mean, it absolutely was a dox. I mean, Charlotte's stands are welcome here. I don't care who they like, whether they prefer her over me or they like her and they totally hate me. That's fine. They can say what they want to as long as they're being respectful. They can disagree with me. They can not like me. I mean, that's fine. I'm not sure what's going on, Steve. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the chat. I'm just trying to look for question marks at this point. or my name being highlighted. Thank you for stopping in, Miss Cassandra. I hope you have a good night. The problem is when you become a public figure, there's always someone out there looking for dirt. I mean, unfortunately, that's kind of true, and it's just kind of crappy. All right. So I'm not seeing any other questions. Just lying. Do you think your vacay will help you feel better? I feel fine. You've gone into people's channels planning to disagree with them, but they're some of your favorite creators now. And that's the thing. Like, you can like a creator and not agree with absolutely everything. As I have stated in this video, I like almost every single creator to the core as people. I may have perceived some of their behavior to be bad at one point or another, and I kind of retracted myself from their channels. I still was watching them. I still was liking videos that they did that I liked. I just wasn't actively participating in them. And like I said, I can take accountability and acknowledge that maybe I should have been a better person and a bigger person and reached out to them. I had on one occasion. Maybe I should have done it the other times, but hindsight is 20/20. I don't agree with everything you say, but I respect your opinions and your side and views. And I genuinely feel the same way towards anybody in my chat. The real test is, do I eat pineapple on pizza? I mean, I will, but that's not the pizza I order. I typically order pepperoni and jalapenos, but I have eaten pineapple on pizza and I don't think it tastes bad. Alrighty, guys. So I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate everybody who's been here. I'm sorry I was not a huge participant of what was going on in the chat for the first half of this. Hopefully, if I ever have a stream this big again, I will be able to limit how often people chat. I don't know why it's grayed out for me for some reason on the back end of YouTube, but it is. So I apologize if anybody had any questions, or if you have an issue and you want to talk to me. I'm open to having any kind of conversation. Even if you want to DM me and tell me you hate me or I'm this disgusting person, if it will make you feel better, fine. Fine. I genuinely don't really mind. But I appreciate everybody who has been here. I appreciate everybody who was kind enough to send a super chat. I hope everybody heard me out. And remember, these were just my opinions. None of this is fact. This is my perceptions, my experience, and how I have seen things happen. And just acknowledging that we've all made mistakes, myself included. We have all made mistakes, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I've seen some people saying, well, if people don't apologize, it shows on them. If an apology is due, then you're right. It shows on them. And move on from it. I mean, go your separate ways at that point, you know? But thank you so much, Store Easy. Don't stand me. I'm going to take one of Xylie's things. Nobody stand me. I agree with her. People should not stand anybody. You should always have some level of questioning no matter what. So I hope everybody has a good day, evening, night, wherever you guys are in this world. And until next time, bye guys.